It may or may not have been that there was a bright, colorful painting on this surface. And I may have painted it over, maybe out of frustration. It wasn't going in the direction that I wanted it to go. Or I just had it for so long and nobody paid any attention to it, including me. And it decided for itself that it needed a new life. For whatever reason, I painted it out black. Now, I didn't just paint it out black. I added some liquid, which makes the black paint, or any paint, dry faster. Because I'm a little impatient and I just want to get going with the next project. And how about that for a concept? Starting from black. Well, it's not new to me. It's something that I've been doing since the very beginning of my painting in oil days back in 2008. I remember just pouring paint out on a surface and just smearing it around with the brush. I had been painting in watercolors all of my life. And this whole painting in oils was a completely new concept to me. I didn't know the viscosity of it. I didn't know the ability to manipulate it, to play with it over time. All I knew is that I wanted to explore something completely different from the watercolor zones that I had been working on for decades. So I poured the black paint out over the surface and I just smeared it around. And then I sat back and I looked at it. There were shapes in the smears. There were silhouettes that began to appear. They were there, but just as long as I kept looking at it, I just began to see them more and more. They became clear to me. And with a little bit of time and patience, we all need a little of that. God knows there's not enough patience in the world. We're all in a hurry and we all want it to happen now. We all want everything now. We just can't wait. But with a painting, sometimes it demands that we wait. And so, with a little time, we just wait for the surface to dry, completely dry. Nowadays, when I do this, I mix liquid with the oil paint and it makes it dry to the touch in 24 hours. That way I can continue moving along instead of waiting for a week or two. I digress. Taking a little bit of light colors, some ultramarine mixed with white, some olive green mixed with a little bit of titanium white, a little bit of azo orange mixed with olive green and some titanium white. And then the magic begins to happen. I try not to fill all of the spaces too quickly, and any old brush will do. You can see I'm working with a dollar store brush. Yeah, a dollar store brush. A little better than a child's brush, really, but I love that ragged, rugged feel that it renders with. Those uneven hairs, they're not even sable or anything nice. They're just plastic, rough, children's brush type hairs. But they suffice for exactly what I'm trying to get at here. I just start to dab those colors into the black, gradually, bit by bit, millimeter by millimeter, filling in the surface. And as you can see, it starts to become visible. Almost like what was completely hidden and shrouded by the black night begins to appear. I remember the first time I did this way back in 2008. It was so invigorating to experience the gradual appearance of shapes and figures, and then I could enhance them with the colors. Mind you, I'm sticking with very, very muted colors. I don't want to overpower the mood that's going on in this painting. After all, if you're standing in the forest at nighttime, looking out across the pond, well, you're not going to see any really brilliant colors. What you're going to see are very neutral, muted tones with a few little highlights to reflect the moonlight. We'll get to that in a moment. But as you can see, the forest is beginning to come to life. Now, I remember also that in those days, the internet was new. The ability to have your very own website was pretty uncommon, but boy, was it exciting. For a change, finally, for the first time in decades, I had the ability to skip over the middleman and present my work to the world without paying any commissions or fees. No, I could just lay it out there so that anyone who wanted to could look at it on their computer screen. And I remember posting a painting similar to this one, started in black and rendered in neutral tones right through to the end. I sat back and I looked at it and I thought to myself, nobody in their right mind is going to buy a painting as dark as this. But it was so much fun. I couldn't get enough. And I believe then, as I believe now, that one must follow their heart and render the art that their heart leads. One must go in the direction that the art calls. Just like the light in this painting, there is that beckoning to move towards it. And so, in this painting, as with all of my paintings based in dark, I follow the light. I move towards it. And I let the painting tell me what it wants. That's really the essence of art, is it not? To listen to what it's telling you, to go in the direction that it wants you to go, because, well, then truly your creative process is at its max, full throttle, flying out of the gate. You can see that this forest is beginning to fill in. Now I'm trying very hard to resist the temptation to add brilliant colors. It seems everybody wants to do that these days. But once again, my heart calls, and it says, no, be calm, settle down, just listen. Well, it's almost like sitting on a rock right there in that scene, listening to the water babble as it trickles on by. And the moonlight is appearing, breaking through the clouds. I'll use a little titanium white on the tip of a little bit of a finer brush. And I want to just kind of tap the white into the black zones that remain visible. And right away we'll get a nice high contrast of the bright moonlight reflections on the water against the muted tones that are there already. Now, if I had gone with brighter colors throughout the forest, it would have competed with these little hints or highlights of moonlight. But because we followed our heart, we remained disciplined and stayed with it, well, you can see the moonlight is becoming the star of the show. Yes, it's wonderful when a painting talks to you. It's even more wonderful after you're done and you crop it up, photograph it and crop it up and publish it online and let others see it. Then you begin to hear from people the things that they see, the voice that they hear calling when they look at your painting that came from a very black and dark surface. Now, I've been guilty of being a little philosophical from time to time, and what artist isn't? This painting to me speaks of times in our life when things are not so clear. Times in our life when we're looking for a little direction. I've gone through them. You're going through them. Everybody experiences that from time to time. And it's very important to just listen to your heart. It's also really important, for me especially, I will say, to bow my head and ask God for His direction in my life. He's never failed me. Even though there have been moments of a little bit lost, a little bit confused, not knowing where I am or where I'm going. But His Spirit comforts me, gives me guidance. If I just hold on, everything will be okay. If I just persevere a little longer, the answers will become clear. And I'll find my way. Oh, I just love the way this painting is evolving. I just love the way it's starting to shape up here. Now we're starting to feel like it's telling the complete story. That sky makes me want to just sit down by the fire, put my little pot of fresh spring water on the fire, boil it up, put a little tea bag into my blue tin cup, maybe get out some of those beautiful hot cross buns I brought along for the trip. Yep, that's the vibe that I'm getting here. And we're almost done. I'm using olive green here, and I'm using the same brush that I did the highlights in the sky and the water. I'm using that same lighter titanium white and allowing it to, well, lighten the olive green so that we have some highlights in the grass and in the forest floor. Nothing strong. We don't want to overpower those beautiful moonbeams. Nope. They're singing a song all by themselves. We don't want to disturb the star of the show. But we need to show a little bit of texture. We need to show a little bit of context. The distance between here and way over there. Put a little bit of red in there as well. Just a little bit. Not strong red. Just like a maroon. Just to warm it up a bit. Ah, yes. It must be time soon to head off and climb into the tent and wrap myself in the sleeping bag. I better put my name on this. I want people to know who painted it. That's me, Robertmcaffee, right there on that surface. It's my heart and my soul. And I hope you've enjoyed this session right here on the Robert Painter. And if you kindly like and subscribe, you'll be notified of the next time we do another one of these videos, just the two of us, you and me. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time, right here